For any organisation looking after collections of historical material, be they the National Archives, a major museum, county-level record offices or museums, or local history societies, the three key factors remain the same. To ensure the validity of the item for future researches, the provenance must be secured, the item must be preserved, and it must be accessible. The provenance, which refers to what it is and where it came from, is secured by accessioning the item, recording as much information as possible about when it was created and by whom, and details about who donated it with the organisation and when. With a government organisation, such as the National Archives, records may well be transferred under a records management system. But for a local history society, the deposits are likely to be random, both by donor and timescale. It is therefore very important that detailed records are maintained. With regard to the second key factor, preservation, the larger organisations will likely have environmentally controlled vaults for storage, appropriate packaging to protect the item, and a specialised laboratory or conservation department for undertaking chemical treatments and repair.
Those of us, however, working in local history societies will be fortunate if we can, at a minimum, repackage items in appropriate materials, and we should never attempt to carry out intrusive conservation techniques. We therefore need to look at other ways of preserving the items that we hold. This can be done to some extent by creating a surrogate of the item. In the past, this would have been by making a manuscript copy or drawing, or perhaps more recently by creating a photocopy or black and white photograph. Today we are very fortunate in having the option of creating a digital copy to capture a true image of the item. This also greatly benefits our third key factor, making the item accessible. Once in a digital format, the information the item gives us, whether it is a full surrogate image of a manuscript or a simple coloured image of a single object, can be made available to both an individual researcher or distributed to multiple platforms. Here at the Smarden Local History Society, we had for a number of years used a rudimentary hard copy accessioning system. But more recently we came to realise that we were capturing insufficient information about the item and, due to the expansion of our holdings, could no longer reliably advise visitors where information could be found on their subject of interest. We needed to improve our facility. There are a range of database solutions available to the professional archivist and museum curator, but unfortunately these are generally very expensive to purchase and often have ongoing charges. We surveyed other societies in Kent and discovered that, generally speaking, we were all in the same position. What we needed was a simple, inexpensive system that could be used by non-professionals while still capturing all the information and metadata required to comply with international standards for archives and museums. It would also be essential that we could rely on any program created being supported for many years to come. So for assistance we turned to ArcLife, a company that has been created to develop software for the heritage workplace. Smarden Local History Society contacted Andy Hawkins, a founding director of ICAM and the current director of ArcLife, and asked if he would be able to assist. Our criteria was that any product should be simple to use, address international standards, and not cost more than £500, which was the budget we felt most local societies could realistically hope to fund. Andy took on the task and has created Community Chest. Community Chest is a modular package that comprises document artifact accession, image capture, image distribution, and public search software. The modules are integrated but can be used independently, and it is not necessary to purchase the imaging equipment, however desirable, to use the Community Chest accession software. As an example of its use, here we see a gentleman bringing in a collection of material on behalf of his father to the History Centre. The donation, examined by our collections manager, comprises a journal of Smarden Village dating from the late 19th century, a collection of family photographs, a map, and a printed book. The donation was gratefully accepted, and the initial accessioning entered into the Community Chest database software. The software, which has the option to pre-populate certain fields, such as the name of our organisation or even the name of the donor, is opened. The next accessions page with number is automatically shown, and the entry begun. As this was the first time this person had made a donation, a new collection is created as well as new donor details. Details such as gift, original material and type are entered, and a brief description of the items given. The location of where the collection as a whole is to be stored is also given. This is all that is required at this stage. At a later date, a fuller description of each item can be entered, and, once a surrogate image made, this can be linked to the database. Here we see the completed data entry down to part level and the links to the surrogate images. Community Chest also incorporates a search engine, the full database being available to the recorder, whilst a limited access facility is password controlled for the general public to comply with data protection. Finally, certain elements of the database, such as type of holdings, can be customized to fit individual organizations' needs for archives or museums. Purchase of the second element of Community Chest, the versatile camera system, will enable immediate capture and entry into the software, on-demand capture and printing, quick capture and segregation of pages of multiple images such as postcards, and a host of other facilities. The software is now being purchased across the county, which will ensure that the data on Kent's historical collections is being recorded in a manner to comply with international standards and provide a commonality for the benefit of researchers. In addition, Smodden Local History Society, in its capacity as the functional entity of the Kent Heritage Resource Centre, offers a training programme for the Community Chest software and also offers the use of its camera to other organisations.